is Laurel of the Dabbling Hook, or Rel of the Dabbling Hook. How are you today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you guys are too. It is quintessential fall day in New England today. It's cool, but not cold. There's sun, there's a breeze. It's fall in New England. And the trees are turning, they're all shades out there. Late last week, early in the week, that flaming orangey red color was all over. Now things are starting to get brown, but you still have spots of red, which I'm looking at over there. Yellow, green, you still have the evergreens out. So all the colors, all the wonderful fall colors. And you may hear loud yawning over there because Father Minion is about to take an afternoon siesta, or late afternoon. It's 4:06 on Saturday, the 26th. So, what are we going to talk about? I haven't done, well, I shouldn't say I haven't done a lot. I haven't done as much as I wanted to. My first week off from craft fair, and I didn't get what I wanted to get done, but I got stuff done. I also, you would have seen in the beginning, I can see floor. I picked up all the yarn off the floor, finally. There are bags still on the floor, but they have yarn in it because last year, I think it was around this time last year, I was going to do the Tree of Life. I don't know why. I've always wanted to do it, but it's single crochet, and you know me in single crochet. Unless it's amigurumi, we just don't get along. And then I have another bag of, what was the name of it? It was a crochet along that's very involved. I will have to put the name on the screen because I don't remember, but I have all the yarn that I bought for it, and it's been in a bag for, it's going on a year, I think. That's pretty sad. That's my goal at the end of craft season this time. I usually go right into amigurumi just to break things up, but you'll also hear yelling because Minion 2 is playing. I want to take things a little easier at the end of craft fair season. I'm kind of getting a handle on what I want to bring to craft fairs, and yes, what sells, but what I want to present. So I'm trying not to rush things, not to do too much, and I want to at least tackle one of those blankets. So it may be the Tree of Life, but the other one scares me because it's very mosaic-like. If I can find the picture, I will put it on the screen, but I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, I can see floor. Hopefully I had to put in the clips at the beginning where me starting to clean. I still have a bit to do. My desk is still a mess, and I temporarily put some stuff over here. Some of it I have to use for a custom order, and some of it I want to use for the craft fair, so I don't want it out of sight. My cakes, what I was starting to use up, I went back and added to it, which is quite disappointing. So I'm on a soft yarn, not a band, slow down. A soft slow down, because, you know, if a good sale is out there, come on, you just know we cannot, I mean, it would be almost sacrilegious to pass up a good sale. You know, if something is normally like $10 and you're getting it for like $3 or $4, you're going to use it at some point, right? Anyway, so, and putting things away, I found a couple of the bonus skeins of Thick and Quick, and also a couple that Debbie had sent me that I finally put your bag away. It was on the floor with all the stuff, and I finally found a home for all of it. So in doing that, I forgot that there were 2 big skeins of Thick and Quick, so I'm going to use those. Yeah, so that's that. The other thing I did a little clip while I was at work. I was on a conference call that was just snoozeville, and most of it had nothing to do with me, so I was just listening in, and I was knitting, and I realized that I think I split a stitch, or snagged the yarn, or split the yarn, and I was going to leave it alone, but it was I know it was going to bug me, so I decided to fix it right then and there. So I'm listening in on a conference call, and I was if you could see how I was trying to prop my phone on me just so I could record what I was doing. So I did that, and once upon a time it used to scare the bejeebies out of me, and now I'm like, oh darn, I gotta go back, and I can go back. So that was cool. All right, enough of my babbling. What are you talking about? So I came across, the recommendations that show up on the side when you're watching videos. A video called How Designers Get Paid, Ravelry versus Etsy. And it was by Natalie of Nitty Natty. She's a knitter. I think I'd seen like a video of hers a while back. But again, it's knitting, and now there's so many of us crocheters out there doing videos, so my energy and my focus goes towards that first. But I thought it was pretty interesting, so I looked it up. I will put the link to her video. It is very informative about all the what do you call it? All the little fees and things that go between getting paid through Ravelry, getting paid through Etsy, having PayPal involved. Very informative. So if you sell and you use any of those platforms, I'll put a link to it below. Go take a look at it. When you have a chance, of course. It's not mandatory reading or listening. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to do right away is, and I need to go get it because I completely forgot. I had everything around me, and if you could see. So I'll be right back. So I forgot to tell you what I was drinking. This is the white Merlot I found. I'm not too keen on it, but you can't waste because I got a big bottle. So I warmed it up, and it was still not doing it for me, although being warm was good. So don't judge. But you see that? Those are prunes. I love prunes. So I plop them in there just because once I'm done, I'm sure it'll get infused pretty nicely, and then I can enjoy my prunes even more. But anyway, so I have a couple of things, and I don't know if to do it separately. I'm doing a little impromptu random act of sharing here. So I bought plastic noise. I bought a bag of this, and even though it's a nice day out, oh, there you go. Inside light isn't so great, so the hot light's on. So it's Rossetti Lumen Multi, and I know I shouldn't have done it anyway. There were other colors that by the time I bought this weren't there, but these are just so not my colors. It's too pastel-y, it's too springy, light, just I like the deep bold colors. So anyway, I bought it thinking that sweater that I think Deb made it, Cece, and Summer made it as well, and somebody else. I forget the name of it, but I thought I would make it, give it a try, because I know I shouldn't have, because I start garments and they never get finished. And that particular one had a section of it had going in the front loop, back loop. For some reason, I have a pattern with that out there. One of my most downloaded I have a couple of free patterns, and that's one of them. But it just wasn't working for me. I don't know if it was the yarn. I know it was the yarn. This yarn it's like 2 or 3 types strung together, or 2. One part is shimmery, stretchy, or is it stretchy? And then the other part is just stretchy, not shimmery. Anyway, all this to say, I started it. It was sitting there in a bag, and I ended up frogging it. I think there were 10 in the bag. And, oh, hang on. The Madeline sweater. I think someone was just wearing it. Was it Nicole of Durab? But the section that was more solid, they had a bigger section of it. And I kind of like that. Anyway, so this is in black and white. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. But this was the Madeline sweater. And I'm sure you're going to hear Minion 1 yelling. I go up there and unplug him. So there are 2, 4, 5 still in the bag. There are 2 full ones in here, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I used 3, so I recaked it. last night or yesterday, and there's certain spots where, because it's so stretchy, I can't see it anymore. It kind of stretched a little. So all this to say, I'm giving this away. If anyone's interested in 10 balls of Lumen Multi, and it is pinks, light pinks, yellows, greens, whites, just it's too pastel-y for me. It's not my type of yarn. It's too thin. I don't know what I was thinking. 3 of them are already caked up. And he's yelling. So if you would be interested in that, let me know. Hang on a second. The other thing I have is I have these buttons that I don't use at all. And they are, again, more shades, and I can see I am glitching, and I will be, hang on one second. Okay. Let's see if this works. So, little wino that I am, according to the minions. I spilled my wine, so I think my workspace is going to smell like I'm a wino for a while. But, never fear. Replenished. You see the smoke? I heated up some more. Anyway, as I was saying, I have buttons that I've just had there. So this all in cleaning. I found some stuff. So just bag of buttons. Hasn't been opened. It's yellows, pinks, greens, orangey yellows. And then this is a bag of all kinds and shapes and same pinks, greens, orangey colors. And then someone I worked with gave me a bag of blue buttons. Can't see because of the glare. All different shapes. There are little butterflies in there, little flowers. But they're all shades of blues and greens. And I'm not using them. So, if anyone's interested, actually I will put them together with the Lumen because the color scheme pretty much, at least these, very much like this. So, and the blue ones also have some of the light greens in there. So, if anyone's interested in that, button and yarn, those 2 words have to be in there. Button yarn, so that when I use the random picker, I can put those words in there, button yarn, together, and it'll make it a little easier. So if you're interested in 10 skeins or balls of that Lumen and the buttons, let me know. And I will ship it wherever. Ooh, I think my sleeve is all wind up too. Okay, so where was I? So that's that. I will have something else that in cleaning, because I bought some stuff, some pattern books, and I think most of them are knitting. There might be one crochet in there, but most of them are knitting. I still have to go through them. When Knit Picks, I think earlier this year, or maybe it was late last year, was having a sale, and the books were like, I think $1, or they're booklets type. And I'm trying to clear out space, basically, so I'm sharing the wealth. So that'll come at a later date because I still have to go through that desk to see what's on there. I still have to go through my mess of a desk to see what's on there. Yeah, so that's that. The other thing, it's now back to being used as a project bag, but on Wednesday I was a +1 for a colleague who I've worked with for the past almost 20 years. It's a long time. So it was at my job, they celebrate 5, 10, 15, those intervals. So it was the 20-year for some folks, well, different years, some 5, some 10, some 15. There's even somebody who's been there 35 years. So I was +1, and I didn't want to carry my regular bag with me. So I'm looking around like, what can I use? I've got all these bags here. I ended up using Kalisha's bag. as my evening bag. It was the perfect size, a little sock size bag. Right now it has a knitting project that I need to work on. I may need to rip it out, and because I may not know or remember or figure out where I left off, but it was I think it was a cowl from Tammy Gore that I'd started, and it got put to the side. But anyway, my project bag was my evening bag. I talked about me fixing my knitting. Yeah, that was cool to just be able to do that, and at the end it's like it's all fixed, it's all better. So cool. Minion 1 also sprained his ankle this week, so it's been a fantastic week. It has been, actually. Other than that, he trooped through it. I thought he would do the I can't go to school thing. He went to school the next day, so it was all good. All right, I think that's all for just chitty chatty. What am I doing for whips? I have nothing active right now. I'm going to start on the custom order I had from a couple of fairs back. I needed to get Thick and Quick in navy, and Michael's is the only one that carries that in store. I think Joann's has it online, but in store I went to Walmart, I went to AC Moore, I went to Joann's, and only Michael's has it. Only Michael's has it in store. And last week when I went to get it, there was no sale sign posted, but when I went to the register, it was on sale for like $1.50 off, and I'm like, no, because I had a 60% off coupon. So I went back this time, and I was able to use my coupon. I was able to do different transactions, so 3 different transactions, and I was able to use a 60, a 50, and a 40% off coupon to get those, so yeah. And I just went today to get another one just in case, and I was able to use a 60% off. Did I use? Yes, I used a 60% off coupon then. So, all's well. Acquisitions. Speaking of getting yarn. So, this is the navy. Oh, it's showing up pretty nice on camera. This is the navy Thick and Quick that I need for the custom order. It's going to be a big button cowl and a footbridge beanie. So, I wanted to have more rather than less, and I'm going to bend down. The other thing, so in cleaning, I also found, I thought I'd used up all my latte cakes because I've been latteing everything. But there were 1, 2, 3 others. I had one that I had in a bag, and there were 3 others that were under the pile. It's terrible. So that's up there. I also bought 4 other mandala. I think it's gnome, 2 gnome, and 2, I think, genie, and I don't know why because I was trying to use them up, but I plan on doubling them up and putting them with a latte cake and making 2 button cowls with those. So, so as I was saying, the other thing I bought when I went to AC Moore to look for the navy Thick and Quick, which they didn't have, they had, I almost bought some earth tone. Their Stitch Studio or earth tone. It's very soft, but what I also like about it, it's very tweedy, and I love it. And it comes in a huge skein. But I had one, I put it back, and walking out, they had another end cap that had earth tone bulky, and it was only $5, and it is 273 yards, 90% acrylic, 10% viscose, which is all the tweedy bits. 250 meters is 8.8 ounces, 250 grams. Calls for an 8mm hook and needle. So this is it, earth tone bulky, and it's a little brighter on camera because of the light, but those tweedy, and it's soft. I'll show you what I made with. I bought 2 because they were $5 each, and I've already used one, so I will show you what I made with it. I used one, and I had this much left out of the first big skein. So there was that. I also bought, where'd it go? Don't fall. So today I went back to Michael's to use because there was a 60% off coupon, so I went grocery shopping. I might as well give it a try. And I was able to get the other navy, thick and quick. They also had a 50% off coupon, which was good for the week. The 60% was just for today. So I did separate transactions, and at my craft fair, someone wanted a hat without a pom-pom that was just cream. I have one that has a sparkle. I think it's called Starlight. They have pom-poms. And another, that's the Vitrina one. And then I have a, it's not the footbridge. I have the Pebbles and Pathways, but that also has a pom-pom. So I'm just going to make a regular, I might make a Pebbles, or I might make a Vitrina, but without a pom-pom, basically, in just the cream, the Fisherman colorway. So I was able to get that with my coupon. And then on the clearance rack, they have a bunch of stuff still. Baby Wellness, they still have a lot in the pinks and the colors that I don't want. They also have a lot of Karen cotton cakes on clearance for $3 something. And they have a lot of Isaac Mizrahi, the really chunky one. And what else? There were a few other things that they have there. But I got this because I'm going to use it in my owls. My owls, I'm writing up the pattern for that. There's so many more pieces to amigurumi. You don't think about, you know, unless you're making them, and then when you have to write it all out, it's even more work. But I saw this and I'm like, ooh, I could use that in the owl. So I am all out of owls, like I said last time. So I need to make a couple at least to have for the next fair. So this will come into play. Starting to pile on the floor, but I'm determined to clean it up after I'm done here so it doesn't pile up. So I think that was all my acquisitions. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just looking over here at the latte cakes, which I thought I'd use, and I have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 of them. They're big skeins, and because I kept using it, it just felt like I was using a lot, but it's just usually just one skein that takes forever to get used up. Okay. Finished items. I have a little bit. So first thing, the knitting that I was doing that I showed the fix for, and I talked about this pattern. Oh, I just got my nail. I talked about the tutorial, and I included it in the notes from last video, and of course I've already forgotten. I think it's CJ Designs. There are 2 of them that I watch. I can't remember, but they're in the previous video. But she was doing the knitted beanie that you just knit. Like you basically knit a tube, you close one end, you invert it in, close both ends, make sure they're attached together, and I made a beanie. And I made this for Minion too, because he's always losing a hat that he likes. But when I first made it, he's like, he doesn't want anything with holes because he pulls it down over his eyes when he sleeps. So this one, he says it's a little tight. He's got a lot of hair. So this one will go into a craft fair. It'll be a good guy's beanie. Very basic, doubled, super warm. It's wool spun, so it's got the little bit of wool in there. So that'll go in there for the guys. And I'm going to start another one for him on bigger needles. I think I may have, I know I have 1 skein of black. I got to see if I have another one. It definitely takes 2 skeins to make it of the number 5. I'm sure if you did it in worsted, then you can just use up the skein, and if it's really long, you can cuff it and you get a 2-for. Okay. What else? What else did I do besides that? So I'll show the seahorses because they were leftovers from other projects, but I thought I made 3, but I only have 2. So there's that one. Just holding on to the price tag so it doesn't swing. There's this one, and this is Gumdrop, Red Heart Gumdrop. I've had 2 skeins of that in my stash for so long. I think I started using it trying to make that octagon blanket that Blue Cherub had made. She saw, I think it was it Hooked by Robin or Blossom Crochet, one of them. And it looked really pretty, and I figured I would use the gumdrop to try to make it, but I did not like at all. So actually using this to dust because too much work to pull it out and it's not worth it. But so gumdrop, latte cakes with AC Moore, the Stitch Studio, their Studio Classic. So that's 2 of them mixed together, and then the gumdrop for the fins and the whatever you call that. So that's that, and I keep dropping. And then I figured out how to crochet so that the tail curls instead of putting wires in. As I mentioned last time, I was especially glad I didn't put the whatever that wire is called, pipe cleaner, in there, because that woman had bought it for her newborn to hold on to. So I figured that out. But this one is some of the Earth Tone Bulky. This is some latte cakes with some, actually it's got some fancy yarn in there. This is some Lola Bean yarns that I used to make one of my Anastasia hat, and there's some left over from that. And this is definitely another Eastery color that's just not me at all. But this was bought as a charity thing, fundraiser. So anyway, it has some of that in there. It's got green eyes. So yeah, and it curls. And of course, it's been latteed. All right, so there's that. The other thing I just made last night. So I was watching YouTube, as we do, and it's probably about time for me to shut down, but then I saw Fiberflux's video on the pumpkin. I think hers is a modern pumpkin. I'm like, and she was using Bernat blanket, and I have a big skein of one, but it's very light babyish color, so definitely wouldn't be modern. I'm like, oh, I have pumpkin kind of yarn. I pulled it out, didn't even realize the yarn itself, it's called, that the name of the colorway is called Spice Pumpkin. So again, it was meant to be, but it's definitely not modern. It completely reminds me of like that 70s show or something very 70s. But her pumpkin is big. Obviously you can make it whatever size you want, but the one she made is big. Like I think she said it was like a throw pillow size. But look at that. It's a beast. It's a beast. I used some Red Heart Super Saver in, let's say, coffee for it, but for the stem. But it is huge. It's huge. Huge. It's like a regular big old pumpkin out there. So, and the color's called Pumpkin Spice Pumpkin. So I'm contemplating, do I take it to a craft fair with me or what? I might, I'll put a price tag on it and leave it there in case anyone's interested, but it would be table decoration. So, excuse me, mine's not agreeing with me today. But anyway, so that's that, and I did that. It was about 11 when I saw the video, and I decided, oh, I can make that. I can whip that up. No, this yarn is so thick. It's thicker than the Bernat blanket. It's plusher, so it does a little number on your hand. But oh, so in the thumbnail you saw this, and this is basically some thread or nylon kind of thread with sparkles. Don't remember where I got that. I think it was at Hobby Lobby once maybe, but I've had this there for quite a while. And I've used it to, like, you know, tie things together, but it's nylon and it's very slippery, so it's not the greatest. So it's just been there for a while. So I decided one day just to make my the flower that I did the tutorial on, and I wanted to use that up, so I kept making it, but then the yarn is very hard to work with. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and it was just there. So last night I just put a button on it, and now I will wear it for next week for Halloween week at work. So I made a bracelet. This is one of the buttons from that blue pack that I'm giving away, or I'm sharing. So Yeah, and it just buttons in one of the holes of the flower, so it comes off. And of course now I'm trying to get off. I can't get it off. Comes off very easily. So I just did a join as you go as I was making them. So that's that. All right. Okay, I'm trying to hurry up, but I'm not doing such a great job because we're actually going to dinner in a couple hours. All right, what else did I do? I made, so using up stash as things fall, I had that skein of the AC Moore Stitch Studio Classic. It was something green or something sage. It had multicolors of greens in it. And I mixed it with, was that the one? Yep. I mixed it with the gumdrop and, of course, a latte cake. And this is completely blown out in this light. Totally, completely blown out. But looks way better in person. You can see more of the greens. And there's the neon. Yeah, you're not seeing it here. The gumdrop has, maybe you can see it in this contrast. Yeah. Has a, not really. There's a neon green in here that you can't see, but you definitely see it in real life. So I made a 2-button cowl out of that. And then I had a skein of Caron Simply Soft, which I have quite a few skeins. It's really not one of my favorite yarns. I don't know why. Maybe at one point I thought it was. But so with the navy for the earth tone bulky, I put them together and I made another 2-button cowl. I love the tweediness in this. Love the tweediness in this. Oh, love it. And by the way, the buttons that I used to get them on Amazon. The light ones that I just showed, you can still get them there. The darker ones, the seller who's been there for years no longer seems to have them. So I had to order some that are coming from, I think, China, and it's been a good 2-3 weeks maybe. And it's supposed to get delivered anywhere from next week through maybe the first couple of weeks in November, I think. Hopefully not December. It had said December at one point, so hopefully not. I did get another, hang on, speaking of buttons, I did order ones that are slightly smaller than what I usually use, and I thought maybe just to add a little bit of interest, I got some colorful ones, and you cannot see that with the light. Let's see. I'll just get a few of them out. They're white. Ugh. Yep, that's not going to work. How's that? Nope. Not going to work. Maybe if I remember to take a picture. But they're white with flowers on them, and they're very colorful. So, like if I make a black one, maybe I can see how that works with it. Or a couple of times I've been asked if I had smaller ones for little girls. So I may do that. I may make a smaller one and test it out with that button. So that would be cool for a girl as well, I think. Okay. This is being prolonged. So 2-button cowls. And then from what was left of the gumdrop and the other yarns, I made a Sherelle and a Kalina headband out of that. And then I made a Sherelle that had the Caron Simply Soft in it, and I ran out. I didn't have enough. I think I put it away. No, I didn't. I had this much left of the Caron Simply Soft, so it wouldn't have helped. So this is just the earth tone. Oh, I do love that tweed. I do love that tweed. I may have to go back. But I don't need yarn. I don't need yarn. I don't have room for yarn. Okay. So that's that. The other thing that I did quickly in cleaning up can't talk today. I'm going to try to move stuff. I bought ages ago from, oh Jesus, I'm forgetting his name. Malcolm. I'm forgetting his like handle. But anyway, he was on Christy Glass like a few years ago. And he's been like 2 or 3 times. I think the second time he came on, he was showing that he was through somebody else, I don't know, producing these ginormous knitting needles. And his whole big thing is it takes big balls to knit. That's like his tagline. So he has a 38 millimeter knitting needle, and I wish now, after trying to use it a couple of times, that they had put on a different kind of, being so big, it has to have like a big cord, but the plastic that they use makes it very hard to use. It's like that pipe plastic, but big sticks. Yep, it's 100, whatever that is, 38 millimeter, US 100. It's a 38 millimeter ginormous knitting needle. So I had started something on there in yarn from AC Morgan that I've had for a bit. It's called, wow, that glare is something else. There you go. It's called Autumn Woods, and it's like roving double plied, and it's fuzzy as all get out when you're using it, and it sticks to you like crazy. So it comes in a huge skein of, where are you? It's only 65 yards. It's 60% acrylic, 40% polyester. Yep. And it calls for a 10 millimeter knitting needle and 11.5 or a P crochet hook. These, of course, were way bigger, and when I was knitting, it made such a great drape, but it was just such a challenge to use this. And at the time, I had just taken it out of the box, because I had it in the box for like a year, and this was just too kinked up to use, and I think it's just too thick. It's not pliable enough. So I took that out, and I decided just to make a quick 2x2 beanie out of it. And it's soft, but it's got halo 4 days. 4 days, and it comes off on stuff. So somebody may like it, somebody may not, but it'll be a loose fit. I should have started with like 30. I started with 40, but it's got a bit of weight to it too. All right, the last 2 things I have. So when I did the hooded cowl, the Magdalene hooded cowl, I did a quick tutorial on starting off the cowl part of it. And in order to do that, I did a mini version. And I didn't do the whole thing at first, and I decided, why not just finish it? So it's like a baby size. I'll put in a picture. I took a picture I have a doll I used to use in my craft fair. I don't anymore. When I first started, I used to do baby items, and they just didn't sell for me, because everyone's like, oh, I wish I knew a baby. I wish I had a baby. I don't have babies anymore. It's just, so I don't. I have a few things I'm trying to get rid of, but I don't do baby things anymore. But my doll's name was Ella, or is Ella. Long before I knew the other Ella. I'll put in a picture. I took a picture of Ella wearing this. So this is just a little baby version of the hooded cowl, and I had a little bit left. This is Woolies Chunky in the color oatmeal. So I had a little left. Wow, that blowout is intense. Anyway, I made a Kalina in that. Nope. That's bright. Okay, I think that's it. And still, I didn't leave it under a half hour. Maybe I can edit some stuff out. But anyway, that is all I have. I don't have another craft fair this weekend either. Well, I didn't this weekend. I don't have next weekend. I have some items I need to do. I need to do an owl or 2. I said all my chubby bunnies are gone, so I need to have at least one more. And I'm trying to get a Yvette shawl done with latte cakes. Actually, I do have a whip. Do I know where it is? No. Hang on. I started an Yvette cowl with latte. Nope. I started a, not an Yvette, I started a 2-button cowl with latte cakes. And I'm loving the colors because I also have a fair bit of Knit Picks yarn. So I'm putting together their Knit Picks Brava is what I have. The wine and the fairy tale color with the plum latte cake. And I can see that glitch. It's driving me bazonkers, but can't be helped. So this is how it's working out. It's just the feel. It looks way better in person. It has more of a warm tone to it in person than it does on camera. But that is my active whip before I stop to do a few other things that I shouldn't have, like the pumpkin. Okay, so I think that's that. I need to do that for the craft fair. I need to keep cleaning because I can see floor. I can see floor. And like Denise of Black Ribbon, I have a list of whips, and instead of crossing off, I seem to be adding them. I cleaned off my IKEA trolley, and I took off all the little odd bits of things that were in here, so now it just has project bags and a couple of scrap balls of yarn that I need to find a home for, but it's just project bags. So I'm feeling a bit warm because of all the light, and of course I'm sure the wine. So I think that's it for now. Yeah, I think that's it. So what did I say it was? Button multi? Button multi. If that's wrong, once I watch it, I'll put it back for the Lumen multi and the buttons if you're interested in getting those. I think that's it for now. I need to go crochet, or at least get ready for dinner. All right. I will talk to you guys later. I forgot again. I keep forgetting to do that. Welcome to all the new subscribers. And even more than that, I forgot to do. Thank you all for everyone who's bought the hooded cowl, the Magdalene cowl, as well as any other of my patterns. I really and truly appreciate your support. If you do make it, please put a picture out. If you still have on Ravelry, put a picture out there. Or tag me so I can see what you're doing. I'm on Instagram a lot, too much. But thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoy it. Make it your own. Patterns are out there as a guide. And I always say, make it by the pattern the first time. You'll find something you're not keen on, you don't like, you can do better, you can do in a way that works for you better. Do that. Change the color. My thing is color. Color just gives a whole new life to a particular project. Add color. Add, one line of color. Anything. Make it your own. But if you're still on Ravelry, please put it out there so I can see, or tag me. I would really, really appreciate that. And thank you again, one and all. And thank you to all the new subscribers. And hopefully I will talk to you guys next weekend. Bye, guys.